All right, so we're back into another One Piece card game video, and today we're gonna start doing these table 2 no commentary, ad commentary of the One Piece Pasadena offline regional. So if you didn't know, I did stream this on my Twitch. You can see at the bottom right. It didn't have any commentary. This is more of a backup game for Hayden, or the Eggman, when he was streaming Table 1. I was too busy, if you see on my channel, doing the Battle Spirits Saga Grand Open. But what we're gonna do is, again, get a little commentary, get a little here and there for some of these matchups. And what I will tell you, one, I will try to do all of them. I don't know if everybody wants to see all of them throughout the week, but a lot of them had like Katakuri mirrors or green, purple, grape, Dofi mirrors. So I don't think that's too exciting. So I wanted to start out with one of my favorite decks, which is Nami. And this is at table 2. I think this is round 3. So they were undefeated going to round 3, which is not too bad. One of these, which I don't know the names, so couldn't tell you there. But one of these Namis actually did top. I think they ended up in top 32, which is pretty cool, and not too bad. And pretty cool opening hand. I don't know if you guys saw that, but we did get a Kaya, we got a Desert Spada, a bunch of other stuff. And I think this matchup is actually a little tough for Nami, only because there's not really too many things that she can do with all of the smaller kind of tougher bodies to deal with, depending on what you're using in your deck. So if you have no Chico, or if you have 3000 swords, depending if you have that utility, you can get rid of some of the things that Dofi plays out on his leader effect. If you don't have that, then you have to deal with all of these swings that are coming in for 5, for 6, for 7 over and over until the late game, which Blue really exceeds that late game. They have the Kaido, they have the Mihawk, they have a bunch of other stuff for them to play. And you can already see in our Dofi player's hand, we have our 4/6, we have our Bartholomew, I believe, and a couple other things that might spell a little trouble with Nami. And I think he is already having a little bit of issue with the Kaya pitch, and it gets a little tough. We're going to pitch a Brickfist, and as well as, I believe, Gavel. I believe that's Gavel. So we're going to see what we have in store afterwards. So immediately we're going to have the 5k swing. We're going to see the Desert Spada come down with our good old Sanji's Pilaf at the top. Our Dofi player is going to use our 3 cost Dofi and see what we can put on top. It's going a little fast on the hand, so I can't really tell what it is, but we do see Pacifista, another 3-drop, and a couple other things. I don't think there's anything particularly good outside of that Perona that we're going to draw next turn, so I guess that's going to help us a little bit. We are rocking good old the new foil Dawn from the 3 Captain series. So although the actual 3 Captain series is not allowed in this tournament, I think they are allowing the alternate arts, and as well as maybe not even the alternate arts, but the Dawn is probably fine. Now that I think about it. We're going to see the Perona come down here. If you're going to use the leader effect right now, is going to be the best bet. I personally think you should swing with this Dofi, going 5. And then afterwards, you can go 7 with your leader. Because you really want to burn out Nami's hand as soon as possible. And, going against like 5k swings over and over again is going to be the way. And of course, you're not going to be really using your hand. So the issue with Nami, or playing as Nami, is that sometimes your opponent's going to have a good amount of cards in hand because you're not swinging too often. There's the only times they're going to be defending against is when you're playing Zeph or something else that threatens your deck count, right? So what happens is that if you do swing with this 5, you still have a pretty good hand size as Dofi. So they're going to swing right back at you as Nami into that Dofi, probably going 6, and then you have to pitch 2 cards at least. So you're going to have to keep those things in mind when this stuff kind of comes about. And just in general as Nami, right? It's just difficult to do that. Here he goes with that 5k swing, just like I was talking about, right? This is what you want to do as any deck going against Nami. And I think personally, if you have a 1k, you definitely want to use it there. But it makes sense if you're expecting the the 7 on the leader. So that way you don't have to use 2 cards. And we're definitely going to take this one. No reason not to. And Overheat comes down to return the Kaya. He's saying, hey, I'm resolving this. Although it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. But I mean, I guess it does matter if he is going to be removing the Kaya. And that is definitely what he's saying as a Dofi player. I get it. I mean, it's original, so you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to keep it in mind if that is the case. He's looking at the top 5 again, even though he put it back on. So he's looking at 6. There's no judge there, so... Too late. Too little, too late, baby. Anyway, so we're going to... So... Still 7 to his leader. We already know what's happening here. And we're going to return that. He's going to read the card for some reason. And then we're going to continue on afterwards. So we're going to see after. What we're going to do is going to go another peel off. I think you just pass here. You can use that Mr. 3 or Dasmones to get back in 1 cost out of your life, because I think, or your trash, because I think that's what you want to do. You want to make sure, like, going to the late game, that you have as many event cards as you can, if you're not going to be playing into Zeph. With Zeph in itself, you know, it's fine. You know, Zeph is cool, but against blue, they can 3,000 worlds it. They can do whatever they want. We already see a red rock in our Dofi player's hand as well, so it's just a little bit tough to see that. You definitely want to swing into one of these Dofi blockers, or else you're just gonna feel kind of bad about it. No, you don't want to play that Kaya. You really want to. Yeah, I think you really want to. You really want to play whatever you can to clear this board and to defend as much as possible, because you want to make it the least amount of work, the least amount of work later into the game. For sure. So we're gonna resolve this Kaya. We're gonna. I think he pitched he didn't pitch anything yet. Just said, actually. So we're probably gonna, like I said, I think what you really want to do, swing into one of these Dofi blockers, get 2 cards out of your hand, and if you're gonna be playing Zeph later on, that's 2 cards you have to 2 cards less that you have to deal with. And honestly, if you're gonna be swinging 5Ks all the time, then you have to think about that. Later on, because if you have these 1 cost event cards in hand, that's more potential each attack for you to be milling more cards or drawing more cards, either one. So he's gonna go 7 already, get the Bart, 1K out of hand. I think that's the Mihawk. Our Dofi player is checking consistently, which is fine. Yeah, definitely wanted to swing at one of these Dofis. Now you're looking at 5 potential attacks. I think that a lot of Nami players definitely get some tunnel vision into like milling as much as possible. I'm not the best Nami player for sure, but I personally think like you can't tunnel vision too much for sure. But hey, he's gonna leave all of this Dawn open. We're gonna get a deck count real quick. And I don't think we're any kind of close. We're getting close to the halfway point for his deck, which is good. We did resolve 2 Sanji's Pilafs. We haven't taken too much life. I think like the first 3 life is probably fine, unless you know you're going against like super aggro like Zoro. You know, if you're going something like that goes super wide and you can't really do anything about it, you know, you might want to defend accordingly. But, you know, going down 2 life, that's 3 cards out of the trigger, 3 cards you can use as well. You know, it gets to that point where it makes it a little easier for you. But we're going to think a little bit here. And if you know how to play against Nami does not like 9K swing. So that is what we're going to see here. We're going to see 9K swing here, along with a 9K swing from leader. Gonna see a 5 here, which you kind of can see his hand. I think you should take these. I think you should definitely take at least one of these attacks. But he does have 2 love loves, so that makes a little bit more sense of why he didn't take these. So another 5, you're gonna Desert Spada for sure. Not the best top 3, I gotta say. Not the best top 3 for sure. Zeph is pretty good. We can return back one of the Kaya's or one of his 3-cost Dofis. I think you swing into the Dofis once and then you Zeph the other. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea. We have another Love Love, by the way. Another Love Love. You know what's on the top of the deck, so I think yeah, okay, so you grab the Overheat, you got a Zeph out of the life. And we need our 2 Dawn here. I think you already put it, so that's good. Yeah, you definitely wanted to go 6 here, but Zeph comes down. We're gonna mill the 2. We already knew the Zeph is there, so I didn't really need to do anything afterwards. We have Kaya, Love Love, and something else there. Gonna take a look at what our drop looks like. I think we have 5 cards in hand. Either 4 or 5, one of those. This is getting a little out of hand, unfortunately. For a Nami player, because this is a board that you don't really want to see. You want to do everything you can to keep the board clear, so that way you don't have to be in a position that you have to defend over and over. Obviously, that is half of the battle as Nami, right? And we're gonna over counter here. I think it was probably better just to take the life to see if you can get the 1k for this next swing, and then from there you can use Love Love as well. But we did do that with our previous Zeph. Here's another over counter, unfortunately. I wonder what we're gonna use for this rest of the Dawn. Probably the Red Rock for the Zeph. I think you're probably better off going Red Rock for Zeph. You know what? This is actually fine. This is actually perfectly fine. We don't need to use. We really need to use our leader effect. Yeah, 5 left. Unless this is a miscount for. Oh, okay. Yeah, 3,000 worlds. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I didn't even see that in retrospect now. So we're gonna use another Perona. You'll see what we want to draw next, and then what our leader effect is potentially going to be next. I think that's sent tomorrow, but we did see a 4/6 Gecko. So we're going to decide what we want to draw next. I think that is going to be the Dofi blocker. And then I don't know what that next card is. It may have been something else. Okay, getting a little tough here. Another Kaya comes down, drew into another Kaya. The All-Stars is going to come down pretty easily. We can play another Kaya, but we're going to be negging 2, basically. And we're not really close at all to our next our mill out, unfortunately. So again, it's getting a little bad for a Nami player, right? It's getting a little tough in the way of just trying to figure out a plan, and we don't really see any Death Winks. We know that he's playing the impel down stuff, and honestly, if you knew that your hand was not that great, you might as well use some of that done on your leader swing, right? Just go like 10 or something, or like 9 or something to one of the 5Ks or 6Ks. I think that's the best part. And also, if you know that you're playing against Dofi, right, then you may as well, if you're playing Nojiku, mulligan for that. If you're playing Zeph, mulligan for that for the blocker, so that way you don't have to deal with these, and as well as for your own Kayas. And if you're going to be playing Brickfist, then you may as well Brickfist some of these 4 costs back to hand, which is not that bad, right? They don't get any on play effects. They don't get anything like that. But when you're in the seat, when you're playing in the regionals, it's totally different, right? It's a totally different experience, and you can't really say what the best play is unless you are uh, in the seat, or you're amazing or perfect. So he knows he has an overheat or a Kaya, so all he has to really do is go 7, and you kind of guarantee um, this next swing. And you can take these next 2 life honestly and be fine. Yeah, I think you just take this. I think you just take it. I mean, you can the overheats or the overheat. The Kaya is a little too late. You're not dying this next turn. Don't know what that card is. And we're gonna use the Gecko. Oh, it's the promo Gecko. Okay, gotcha. So he saw 2 of the skillless cards. That's pretty sick. Oh wait, no. Oh, it's the other Gecko Mario, the one that grabs from the trash. I'm sorry, I'm listening to the players. You can't hear it. Maybe I'll enable that for next turn or the next video. But let me know in the comments if you want that. If you want the player audio as well. You can barely hear him. It's not like amazing. It's camera audio out of the camera, so it's not like too crazy. Okay, he's gonna grab and read the card once again. Maybe hoping for a Sanji's Pilaf might be pretty good. Akaya is not bad, but it's not gonna enable you to win. Okay, good. We're asking about this again. That's it's a regional. We're gonna pitch 2 more. A love, unfortunately. Oh, that's good. We're checking that as well. Okay. Hey, another Sanji's. Let's go. All this amount of luck is one little too late, unfortunately. But we resolved all 4 Sanji's Pilaf. We didn't resolve any of the Zeph effects. So that's a bit of a bummer. You definitely want to swing with your leader. Don't forget to do that. Although this might be a wrap. Either way. Our Nami player is gonna concede. I was gonna say, I think he's just letting him know that I don't think I got anything, big dog. So our Nami player unfortunately did not take that one. Blue Dofi takes it against her. Again, it just comes down to like, hey, he had a lot of bodies, he had a lot of swings, and some of the cards that Nami had in hand wasn't like super useful in the time that he needed them, and he had to over counter a lot. He had to do a lot of stuff to kind of not die. So hey, shout out to these players. They did well in playing this match, and let me know in the comments below. We're gonna see if we can get some more, hopefully non-category stuff. I'll see you in the next one.